You've tuned in to another edition of The Break Room, a weekly conversation about how the City of St. Augustine works from those who do the work every day. Hosted by the City of St. Augustine's Communications Director, Melissa Whistle, The Break Room offers a closer look at the different city departments and provides updates on current and upcoming projects and events. And now your host, Melissa Whistle.
Welcome to The Break Room. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. This week, joining me in The Break Room, I have Anastasia Mosquito Control District Commissioner, Trish the Commish Becker, as well as Eddie Zizeko. He is the St. Johns County's Mosquito Education Specialist, and we're going to be talking about mosquitoes. Welcome to The Break Room.
He's the Anastasia Mosquito Control Education Specialist.
Anastasia. Oh, you're right. Anastasia Mosquito Control
We get
Education
confused
Specialist.
a lot.
But you're in the county.
We're
you guys
in
are
the
part.
county.
You are a part of the county.
Yes.
Organization.
We're our own independent organization.
Okay, that's
we
good
are
to
a
know.
Countywide organization, but we are independent. We have our independent property tax millage that we run off of.
Okay, so you have your own pot of money.
That's right.
Excellent. Good to know. But more importantly, this week is Mosquito Awareness Week. Is that what it's called? And we're all aware of mosquitoes.
Yeah, you should be living in Florida.
If you're not aware, pay attention.
Do these things that bite you? They're kind of annoying.
Tell us, all kidding aside, we have a Mosquito Awareness Week. Tell us about that, Eddie.
Yeah, so it's a nationwide awareness week where all the mosquito control districts will put out really good information, have fun interactive videos, getting people aware of the things they can do to prevent mosquitoes from breeding near them.
And we have a great breeding ground here for mosquitoes.
We do. Florida was once known as Mosquito County, all of Florida.
Really?
So, yeah. And that's where the Drain the Swamp came from. Back in the day, they used to try to...
Literally.
Yeah, they literally were trying to get out the mud and the muck to stop growing mosquitoes. So
That's standing water.
That's standing water. So, yeah, this is a nationwide, all the districts across the United States are celebrating Mosquito Awareness Week because mosquitoes are the number one killer of humans. And so a lot of times we're growing our own problems. So we want to really make sure that the public is aware and continues being vigilant on dumping out any standing water on their property and wearing good protective bug spray and putting in for service requests if needed.
And that you just hit the nail on the head. You really can control this. We don't have to stand. I mean, granted, I'm not going to eliminate all the mosquitoes in my yard in one day, but I can do something as a resident in my own property, in my space, to help mitigate, if you will, to help bring down those numbers of mosquitoes.
Yeah, exactly. If you see any mosquitoes around your house, the first thing anybody should be doing is checking out their yard, looking for little secret patches of water that they probably missed or hidden in like a bush. Like, pots, flower pots can hold water. You just want to make sure you go around your yard and dump out any water that you see.
And we've also talked, I know in the past, this is another one, is plants. We inadvertently love to plant, what are they called?
Bromeliads.
Yep.
Bamboo is another one that will breed mosquitoes. You can even get mosquitoes in a tree hole. You want to make sure your tree holes are filled up. They can be really sneaky with where they're hiding.
And it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't take much. And they can sneak inside your house, too. So if you have a lot of plants inside your house, I've had people tell me, man, I have all these mosquitoes in my house. I don't know how they're getting there. So, well, how many plants do you have? Oh, like 100. And it's like, well, you need to check your little
plants. Yeah, I won't have that problem. I don't have plants. My plants are not live plants. Maybe that's a good reason to have not live plants in your house.
Yeah, you're preventing your own mosquitoes. So.
Eddie, what kind of things can we look for out in the community or social media to help us with all this information that you've got?
Yeah, so follow Anastasia Mosquito Control on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll be posting a lot of good information, sharing other information from other mosquito control districts. You can go on the AMCA website. I think it's amca.org. Let me find that. I'll find that afterwards. So just check out our social media. We're going to be posting some fun videos explaining what we do, why we do it, and that kind of thing.
And this is your job every day, educating.
Yep.
Keeping us all in the know. What kind of programs had you been doing? And I think when we talked before, COVID really kind of hit your program hard.
Yeah, so COVID hit right before I was supposed to do I think it was the St. Patty's Day parade. So that I would normally be doing like the parades, going out to public events, having a table, just spreading good information, going to schools. I used to be in a lot of schools in St. Johns County, doing labs with kids, explaining why mosquitoes are, such a problem. Because if you get a child excited about it, they take it home to their parents, and kids are. When they love to boss their parents once they find some good information.
They go home and they're all smarty pants about mosquitoes. That's great. And there are programs that you have in place that go to all the age ranges in schools.
Yeah, so we tailor all our lessons to the Sunshine State Standard. So, if a school reaches out to me and they say, I have a 4th grade class, can you do a lesson? I pull up my 4th grade PowerPoint. I have all the standards laid out there, and that's what I base my PowerPoints off of.
Excellent. And the kids are really responsive, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah, I try to do interactive things in the classroom. So, when I have a young batch of kids and they don't really have, they can't really do a lab yet, I'll have them hatch eggs in the classroom and they can watch the eggs grow, and then I'll leave them there in a container. They can watch the whole life cycle.
So it's a live exercise.
Yeah.
Over the course of a couple of weeks, couple of days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So what is the life cycle of a mosquito?
So they lay their eggs near or in water, depending on the species. Then they turn into a larva, or the eggs hatch into a larva, and then that larva goes through 3 molts, 4 different instars, kind of like a caterpillar. They get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they turn into a pupa. At that point, they stop eating. They try to stop moving to conserve their energy. They'll move if you disrupt them, but then from larva, they emerge into an adult.
And how long does that take?
10 to 14 days, depending on the weather.
So you really, it's just ongoing. So that life cycle, how do you interrupt the life cycle?
So with the schools, I'll show the kids, there's different techniques we can use. I take fish, Gambusia fish, to schools, and we'll do a little experiment on how the fish eat the larvae. And they'll pick, which fish is going to eat the most, depending on size. They'll form their little hypothesis. I also do a BTI lab with them, and that's one of our larvicides that we use. And the BTI kind of, they kill all the larvae by tearing up their stomach. It's a little bacteria that releases these crystals. It's really cool. It doesn't affect anything else besides black fly larvae. It's natural, comes from the soil in the bottom of ponds and lakes.
So there are ways to prevent it.
Yeah.
Scientifically. And then we also have, we can call, if I'm now switching out of the school environment, though, if I'm at home and I find that I've got these mosquitoes around my yard, I can call. I can have a service, correct? That you guys come out and service the property?
Yeah, you could call us, or you could even go online and fill out a service request at www.amcdsjc.org. And so we've got our phone number on there, and we also have a button to put in a service request. Eddie has just updated our website, and it's fantastic. There's tons of wonderful resources on there. You can find out more about our education program, our research program, some of the publications that we've done. We have over 160 publications worldwide. And so one of the things that we can do is when you put in a service request, our technicians will firstly inspect your property. And if you have something like standing water, maybe you have a pond in your yard, we have Gambusia fish that we breed on site and we'll put into your water. Or for our farmers that have water troughs around their property, we can put our fish in those to prevent mosquitoes for free as well.
If you are just now tuning in, you are listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. This week in studio, I have Trish the Commish Becker. She is one of 5 Anastasia Mosquito Control District Commissioners, as well as Eddie Zizeko, and he is the Mosquito Educational Specialist. Talking about the fish in the water, you have these Gambusia fish. I have seen those Gambusia fish when I came out to your facility. Could you talk just a little bit before we wrap up about what the exciting things are that you have going out there at the Education Center?
Yeah, so we're in the process of building the Education Center now. And so we'll be able to give out tours to students. We'll be able to give out, we want it to be where our science and STEM teachers can bring field trips to and see real science working. We'll have examples of ways that you could be growing mosquitoes around your home. We'll have all kinds of different vectors that we're going to talk about, like ticks and Lyme disease that they spread. We'll talk about red ants, bees, and all kinds of different things. We're going to have a live insectary there where people can see real, cool, scientists doing real work right in front of them. And so that'll be kind of like a glassed-in science cage, like a movie or something. And so that'll be really cool. So we've been working on that for the last few years and saving for it, and we're very excited for it to open next summer.
And that's really going to be a huge education outreach opportunity. That the way you've described it really, I guess, resonates beyond mosquitoes. We live in Northeast Florida. We have our own unique habitats of animals and creatures and critters, and we don't necessarily want to be, helping them grow. And we need to know how to live with them and prevent them. Exactly.
The last climate, not association, but former President Trump had a climate council, and they said that the mosquitoes and the ticks, the illnesses that they provide, were going to be tenfold in the next few years. And so we can't make independent tick associations and all these bugs. So we really need to get the word out about all of these dangerous vectors to us. And so Eddie works very hard to get the word out, and we just want to make sure everyone knows to, spend time outside. We love being outside. We're all outside as much as we can, and just wear long sleeve shirts and use a bug spray and check yourself after you go out.
And it's interesting too, I'm not sure if we've talked about storms, but when we have all these afternoon storms and showers, we get a lot of that sitting water. This is just right along there with hurricane season. You got to prepare for hurricane season, prepare for mosquito season, just prevention, preparedness, knowing how to be a good citizen and combat it in our own ways.
Yeah, and that's why the Mosquito Control Awareness Week is so important, especially for our Florida counties, because we are coming up on, hurricane time. So any of that flash flooding can further millions of mosquitoes in a couple weeks. And so we want to stay really aware of what the standing water is and try to get rid of it and dump it out as much as we can. And I know in some areas that's a little bit easier said than done.
Right.
We've been talking with Kelly from the city about flood mitigation. And so, that's something we're going to hopefully work a lot closer with. And Eddie's going to be doing a lot of summer camps this summer.
Any word to our kids heading to summer camps?
Oh, yeah, be prepared. We're going to have a helicopter fly right in. It's going to be great.
Really?
Yep. In 2019, we took our helicopter to multiple summer camps, had the kids look. They were able to, get up inside, see what it's like. We explained what we use the helicopters for.
So you actually use the helicopters with mosquito control?
Yes. The helicopters are a great tool for mosquito control. It allows us to get to hard-to-reach areas that breed mosquitoes. It allows us to treat, vast, vast areas of land at small amounts of time.
Okay,
so.
Excellent. And here I thought it was just to chase bad guys down the highway.
Well, we are. We're chasing serial killers. They just happen to be female mosquitoes, But yeah, these helicopters are great because even though in town, I know we all kind of complain about how overbuilt everything is getting. And so those mosquitoes are going to be looking for new things to eat on like humans. But so much of our county is still very rural. And our technicians have to go out by airboats, by these 4x4s to try to get in there and spray around. So with the helicopter, they can get it done very fast. He can fly from our new central location is central to the county. So he can get anywhere in 20 minutes and back. And so it's very, very cool.
Well, I'm really excited to be aware, in particular this week, but you guys are always entertaining and it's so interesting. Who knew we could have this much fun talking about mosquitoes? Thank you guys both for stopping by, and we'll have you back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
As we wrap up another edition of The Break Room, I hope we answered your questions. If we didn't, take a minute and send an email to info@citysanog.com if we didn't answer your questions or if there's someone you'd like to hear from. We want to keep you informed about what's happening in and around the city and that you hear it here from the people doing the work and making it happen every day. In order to stay connected, you need to be connected, so be sure that you like us and follow us on any of our social media platforms. You'll find the city on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @City St. Aug. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
You've been listening to The Break Room, a weekly program addressing projects and programs offered by the City of St. Augustine. Join us each week as the city's communications director, Melissa Whistle, has in-depth conversations with the people who make our town work to meet the needs of our community. The Break Room is produced by communications specialist for the City of St. Augustine, Cindy Walker, and engineer by Flagler College communication major, Anne Marie Gresham. See you at this time next week for another edition of The Break Room.